Hi everyone, it is Sunday the 24th of May 2020. I'm having a look at the commodities. I'm starting off with gold. So I highlighted an area this last week where I anticipate gold will pull back into. I like where it is now. It's not a bad area for it to potentially take another run upwards from here. A little bit overextended on the weekly, admittedly, but not ridiculously so. So a pullback down to here also makes sense. But at the same time, I feel that it is so close to testing that 1800 level that it may be very keen to do that. So it's pulled back in here on a daily basis. I quite like the look of this. Nice little bullish candle here, a break above the high of that, my stop loss below the low of that, gets some additional protection from the previous highs here. And a nice little run up towards 1800 to me would make complete sense, technically speaking. So that's something that'll be on my watch list this week. Looking at silver. Now, silver I really would have liked for that to come back down to test this level of resistance as support, or even coming down to 1600 would have been a really nice retracement. Now, having said that, this is a very nice, valid bullish setup. There is likely to be some strong resistance at 1800. So gold could potentially be setting up to go long, so could silver, and so this could be a potential setup already in isolation. It's nice and bullish. I just think that it's well overextended on multiple levels, and therefore that's an issue. But having said that, if gold is planning on doing a big move this coming week, then both gold and silver have effectively signaled that this is their turning point now, and they're ready to do that. So I will potentially look at trading silver this week, a break above the high, my stop loss below the low. But because, as I said, I would have been happier, more confident if it had done a deeper retracement, I'm most likely going to reduce my risk on that. But having said that, technically this looks ready to go, and I will be cautious of resistance, strong resistance at 1800 level. So one of the potential outcomes of this could be price heads up, finds resistance, and then finds a deeper retracement. That's a potential. It's not ideal, but it is a real possibility. Interesting enough, looking at crude oils, they're looking really good. They've broken through resistance as we anticipated they would last week, and they've pulled back. And they're sitting on a nice round number, 3,000 there, and a nice little bullish candle sitting on the moving averages. And the moving averages have reordered themselves 50, 20, and 10. So all of this in isolation, plus we've broken the weekly downtrend, so that downtrend is now next. All of this in isolation, keeping in mind that the longer term trend is down, all of this in isolation looks bullish. So a nice little break above that. I am aware of the longer term trend to the downside. Shorter term trends are technically behaving in a very nice fashion. Okay, that doesn't guarantee anything, but it is worth mentioning that. The observation, broken through resistance, coming back to retest it. Shorter term and medium term moving averages have rearranged into a bullish fashion. We've broken the weekly downtrend. We're coming back to test round numbers in a perfect fashion. All three of them are doing that. Brent crude as well. Broken through that level, coming back, bullish candles forming. So all of these imply another bullish move to the upside. Okay, so I'm relatively happy with that. We haven't broken, I don't know if we've broken the weekly trend here. Yes, we have. Okay, so that's all good. So what this implies then is if price then manages to follow through and head up, it's going to start heading up towards these kind of monthly support resistance levels. And so that looks interesting to me. If I am concerned about those, I will just simply remove or reduce my risk on those. So instead of maybe 1% per trade, drop it down to 0.2% per trade, for example. But technically speaking, in isolation, there are valid reasons to consider, for me to consider taking these long. Then having a look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin has no clear trend at the moment. All right, so it was in an uptrend. It's now producing lower highs and higher lows. So at this point in time, I need to see price break to the upside here and take another run at this, which would then be creating a breakout pattern to the upside. Okay, which is fine in terms of the longer run. There's just no clear trend at this point. So what I'm going to be watching for this week will be moves up to this level and potentially pullbacks and potentially higher lows. All right, and then I'll be looking for breakouts. If that is the case, and if by this time next week we've produced higher lows running up into this level, I'll be looking for a breakout above this level. I'll be looking for a breakout trading opportunity there. Ethereum actually has a similar issue. It's also producing high lows going into this. I'm just looking at the potential divergence on these momentum indicators. So there's nothing for me at this point in time, no confirmed downtrend and no real reason for me just yet to consider going short. I would prefer to go long, but I also need price to break through this resistance first before I consider taking an entry into that trend. And that's pretty much it on my watch list, at least for the kind of mainstream commodities and digital commodities for this week.